Hey everybody, welcome. Thanks so much for being here. My name is Mike Lattuca. I'm an enterprise I-Rep with Jasur International. And, in recent days and even over the course of the last week and a half or so, I've been trying to figure out what is it that I can do to share more of the idiosyncrasies, more of the actual nuts and bolts of what it is that caused me to get to the top rank here in Jasur International. And large part of it really came down to my being able to adapt, overcome, and achieve things by allowing myself to change, to be able to be what it was that I was looking for. So what I want to do is share with you all how to attract talent into our business. And Darren Hardy really captured a lot of this in his presentation with us at Regional, where he talked about the type of woman that he wanted. He was having a conversation with a friend, and he said he wanted a woman that he could unconditionally love, that he could trust, that would be loyal to him, that would be an incredible life partner, that was somebody that would be there for him, regardless, and just that perfect woman. And his buddy said, good luck. Look at you. Look at who you are. Why would you think anybody with those types of attributes would want to be with you? And what an incredible statement. What an incredible epiphany that was for him. And the same thing applies for our business. If we want to attract talent, we've got to become talented. So what I intend to share with you today is a lot of the things that will help you to become better, that will make us have to look at who we are first and foremost, and allow us to identify the things that we need to change so that we can simply become better. So how to attract what it is that we want? We hear that the universe, put it out there, the universe will answer, right? So in order for us to be able to put something out there that's attractive, right, we've got to be attractive. We've got to be of the mindset that what we're doing, who we are as a person, is going to be attractive to other people, right? So we have to create that ourselves. It's not something that we're just automatically born with. It's something that we have to work towards. So we got to look at who we are first, right? Are we unorganized? I was extremely unorganized, right? Do we have so much going on right now in our head that causes us to be a little lost and certainly confused, unclear as to where to dedicate our time and our energy, right? Are we just disoriented with what's happened financially to our lives, right? So what is it? And I can tell you that for me, in order to get to the person that I've become, it took a lot of work, but it started with one step, right? One step was all it took, and then another step. And slowly over time, you look back and you see where you were and where you now are is a direct result of starting. So if success is identified by becoming passionate, by working hard, right, work ethic, by being able to focus deliberately on our tasks at hand, and certainly being persistent in what we want, our why, right, that's going to keep us moving the ball downfield, coming up with strategies and new ideas as to how best to support our teams, and being an overall good person, a person that people want to relate to, people want to engage with, and then knowing when to push your teams into position, right? We don't want to push them out, but certainly sometimes by pushing people with encouragement and inspiration, right, will cause them to experience a level of success that perhaps they wouldn't have had you not identified the perfect time to be able to give them that gentle nudge. And then becoming a servant leader. How is it that you're going to teach, mentor, coach, train your teams? And are you committed to doing that? Because the cycle is the cycle. And once we understand that, it all starts with one step, by putting one foot in front of the other, as Darren Hardy did on stage. He showed us that your body's momentum, by putting a foot in front and then willing the other foot to go in front, causes momentum. You're going to start moving in that forward direction. The same thing happens with our actions. By putting an action into place, it's going to cause us, by becoming passionate about what we're doing, right? It's going to cause people to want to be a part of what it is that we're doing. That's going to allow us to work more efficiently and effectively, keeping our focus. And then persistence really becomes a byproduct, because everything we're doing is causing us to be persistent, and everything that we're doing is serving our teams, and everything that we're doing is good for all those that are involved, right? So it's one step at a time. Take a deep breath. Take the pressure off of yourself. If you're not happy today with where you are in your business, it's okay. Step back and identify what it is that you must do in order to become better. Because for me, I know that once I started to organize my life, because I had so many things against me, I had so much that was going on, that as soon as I detailed my car, I would stand back and look at my car and go, wow, the car is beautiful. It looks so good. Why haven't I done this sooner? Right? And then what do? Don't we take care of that car once it's detailed? And usually it ends up going right back to where it was, but don't we take care of it? Aren't we proud of it? Right? Same thing about when we clean our desk off. And now we've got a new vision. We didn't just take everything that was on our desk and throw it in the garbage. We took everything and we put it away where it needed to go. We organized ourselves, which allowed us a clean workspace that now we feel like we can get something done. Right? Or like your yard. When you get done cutting the grass or doing a garden like I do, and you look back at it, and you look at the project that you just completed, it's a sense of pride. Well, the exact same thing happens when we take that same action in our business. When we work with somebody, when we teach them how to prospect effectively, when we have a planning session and a weekly scheduled business opportunity presentation meeting, right? When we have these things going on, they cause the cycle to go on its own by us ensuring that we're there, we're present, we're doing what we must do. And a lot of times, people, we make jokes about our being unorganized. I remember I used to tell Rachel, listen, don't touch anything on my desk because I know exactly where everything is. And she would laugh at me and say, okay, well, where's this? I'd say, okay, well, as soon as I'm done with whatever I'm doing, I'll find it for you, knowing that I was going to be frantically looking just to prove my point, right? Organize chaos. Well, let's remove chaos and agree that once we become organized, it makes us clear. It makes us with a vision of clarity by slowly, over time, organizing different elements of our life and our business. So how do we attract success? Well, first, ask the question, do you deserve success in your business? Do you deserve successful people? Because would you follow you? If the answer is no, that's fine, because my answer was no back in January of 2011. So I wrote down a whole bunch of things that I needed to do, to correct, to be better. Am I punctual? Am I reliable? Am I the first one into a meeting and the last one out? Or am I the one that walks in late all the time and leaves early because I don't have a guest? Am I committed to my teams and helpful to the leadership, offering my time to help and volunteer? Is my appearance acceptable? A great example of that is the car, right? Do we show up with a car that's nasty with, fast food wrappers, old water bottles everywhere, or, just dirty, right? Isn't that a first impression when you pull up? What's our personal appearance like? What does our home look like? All of these things, once they start coming together, allow us to feel better, because I can tell you, I experienced this. When things were spiraling out of control for me, I didn't give a crud about anything. None of it. Because it seemed like I was so overwhelmed with everything that was going on that none of that mattered anymore. And in fact, it was actually the opposite. As soon as I paid attention again, it lifted my spirits. It took me out of a somewhat depressed state by seeing that I can make progress in the things that I can control. Not the things I can't control, but in the things that I can control. Am I trustworthy? Am I loyal to my teams? Am I somebody that's looked up to? Do I lead by example? And as I said, volunteer and even host meetings and cause the effect within my market. How about this? Because this used to be me. I said I refuse to do that with Jasur because I understand the power of residual income that grows each and every single month, paying us for what we did years ago. Will I allow myself to fade away by starting off strong, by doing things great? Or am I going to stay the course? Staying the course is the answer, clearly. But franticness, being frantic, and you know what? I had this. Right? Franticness can cause us to be so consumed with what's gone on financially, which then turns into emotional, right? And then it causes us to be depressed. There are so many people that are frantic out there, financially speaking. They just don't know what to do. Well, it starts with this. When we say enough to allowing ourselves to either be the reason why we're frantic and blaming ourselves or the victim. We've got to stop. None of what is bothering us from a frantic state is going to heal us and help us to grow and get better and ultimately recover. None of that is going to help us. That's all negative stuff. As soon as we recognize that everything incredible starts at a single given point in time in our mind where we say enough, and we're going to pick up the pieces that are left and build something incredible with them. And it comes down to just committing to simply starting. Right? Identifying who we are, what our flaws are. Right? Write them down and be fair, but be honest. Okay, don't beat yourself up, but I want you to be honest with things that you know that you do that are negatively holding you back. Is it your commitment? Is it your organization? Is it your willingness to let go of being a victim? What is it that is causing you to not catapult forward? Because 2 years from now is going to happen anyway. July of 2016 will come. And will things be better for you? Ask yourself the question. If you're not happy today, chances are you weren't happy 2 years ago, financially speaking. So by moving positively in the right direction, by getting our house in order, being everything about us, we'll start the process that allows us to 2 years from now to look back. Remember I said earlier, taking those steps forward allows us to look back and see the path that we forged, right, that we created. Well, 2 years is the same thing. You're going to look back over the 2 years and see what you've accomplished, what you've done by simply starting properly. Where in your life can you take control again? This is what really caused me to benefit strongly from this mindset when I was in the middle of everything ugly that I was in the middle of in 2007, 8, and 9. The only things I could control were things that I needed to control to give me some power back. Because everything else, you know, the mortgage industry, right, my association, the bills that I had that was, you know, stacking up, all of the things that I could not control, the collection calls, all of that were things that were going to be things that I could not control. So I had to put them out of my mind and work on the things that I could control, because that gave me a sense of empowerment. Because by cleaning my car instead of just being depressed, by cleaning my house, right, by taking care of some of the things that I could control, gave me a sense of power back over time, slowly, that I could control my environment. And this is a very big part for so many people today, because we're so frantic and overwhelmed with the negatives that are going on around us that we can't see clear. And a great analogy to that is this. God gives us so many energy tickets every single morning when we wake up. How we use them is up to us. If we allow ourselves to focus on all of the negative things that we can't change, we can't fix yet, right, then we've used up our tickets. But what if we acknowledge and recognize that, you know what, that stuff I can't deal with right now. This is what I can control by making sure my appearance is good, understanding what I'm doing, understanding that how to invite properly to start the process. Because the sooner we show up properly, the sooner those results will start, and they'll start to eclipse all the negatives. Because by waiting for them to simply go away is ludicrous. They're not going away. Okay, maybe the result is delayed a little bit, but ultimately we're going to pay the piper. So why wouldn't we agree that 2 years from now is going to happen anyway? And let's work together systematically in a proven way to start to rebuild as I've done. And then ask yourself, who is it that you know that has the similar challenges that you do, that you can adopt and help them by helping yourself and teaching them how to leave all that negative behind. There's nothing we can do to fix any of that. All of that is draining us. It's emotionally ruining us. We've got to cut that off, cut that cancer out, and start rebuilding, because God has given us the strength, the stamina, and the health to get up and go again. And to me, that's the sin, is that when people have those attributes and don't utilize it. Well, it's not just that easy. It's identifying what is causing us to stay idle, right? And then putting that away, and then identifying also what can catapult us and putting our energy into that. And you know what I did, folks, when things were at my worst and the phone calls were endless for collections, I decided that I was going to go to sleep at 8 or 9 in the morning, wake up at 5 or 6 in the evening, and I was going to start my day then, knowing that most of the calls would have happened, and I wouldn't have had to have seen another collection call coming in, taken another call. I just avoided it because there was nothing at the time that I could do about it. Okay, so understanding that healing, financially healing will happen, but we've got to draw the line in the sand and say, enough. I've paid the price dearly. I am not paying anymore for what is now historically behind me. Right? It's happened. Now what I'm going to do is heal going forward. And for me, I was so caught up in my material loss. It was incredible. This was my house that I built from the ground up, my SL convertible, my RV that looked ugly on the outside, but I gutted it, and it was completely Tommy Bahama inside. It was awesome. And then my X20 Bombardier ski boat, wakeboard boat, that I taught my kids how to ski and wakeboard in. And then my country club membership, everything here went away. And I was, excuse the language, but I was pissed off. I was upset. I was so irate. And that anger just was ultimately what fueled me, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But then during the course of this recession, my marriage of 17 years was ending. I had custody of the 2 young children. My business of over 20 years was about to close the doors. So I couldn't have had any more of a negative spiral going on in my professional life as well as my personal life. I had used up all of my retirement and my savings to maintain my business and the lifestyle that I had. The collection calls, as I said, were 90% of my day, so I took that part of my day and ended it, and just started waking up when they stopped calling. And it allowed me to be focused. It allowed me to not be interrupted with good thoughts while having good thoughts with negative calls. Because that level of humiliation, frustration, embarrassment, we all experience. And you know what? It was running so rampant in me that it was causing me to self-destruct further. So I decided consciously, I would not allow these failures to define me. God had given me the strength, the stamina, and the health to get up and go again, and I was going to respect that. I caused it to fuel me. I was going to get back every single thing and then some, pennies on the dollar. I'm going to change my mindset of self-pity to anger and determination that was going to fuel me instead of deplete me. I was going to come back stronger and smarter than ever. And folks, I have. You know, I've been pushing that ball uphill, that rock uphill, and that's fine. I've got the help to do it. Because I know once I get to the top of the hill and I let go of that ball, that's momentum. There's nothing that's going to stop that. That boulder represents my team. And by helping my team get to the top of the mountain, and then we go global and let that boulder go, there is nothing that's going to stop that momentum. And that is where the financial certainty becomes a reality. So what do we need to overcome? How about what others might think? Because in the middle of all of our being overwhelmed with the negative things of our life, some of the real concerns are what our friends and family think of us doing network marketing. Man, it's about time to let that go. How many of them are paying your bills? How many of them are feeding your children? How many of them are paying your car payment and putting gas in your car, making sure you have health insurance or co-payments paid? None. So why is it we give so much strength and power to those so close to us, whose lives are probably equally as in trouble as ours, but yet we allow them to take us off a path that's proven to work? And you know what? This will happen. It will happen to so many people. They're just so influenced by people that have nothing going on in their life. It's like the analogy of the crabs in the bottom of the pot. Right? One of the crabs is stepping on somebody else to get out of the pot, and another crab reaches up and grabs him and pulls him back. The reason the people closest to us don't want us to succeed in what we're doing is because we'll show that they're not doing anything. Right? Getting our house in order. We've got to get our house in order, whether it's our thoughts or physical things like cleaning up our desk area, our car. Getting a sense of pride back by being able to step above all of the turmoil and prevail. Emotionally understanding that things as they once were, right, when we were successful years ago, we'll never experience that again, because that's gone forever. That's history. That's behind us. What we are going to experience is going to be pretty incredible, but that has to be let go. You can't possibly grasp the future if you're holding on to the past, right? You got to let your hands go and become free so that you can open up and embrace what's coming. Got to be able to thank God for our health, stamina, and our strength, to have been open-minded enough to recognize Jasur, and then respecting the opportunity, cherishing it enough to run with it in all ways that are proven to be successful. We've got to get over the recession failures that we've all experienced. This is the noose around the neck. Get rid of it. It's not making you any money. It's causing you to prevent yourself from making any money. And we have to always keep our glass half full. We've got, those people that are half empty, that are pessimistic, cut them out of your life. I don't mean end your relationship with them. Stop talking to them. Stop dealing with the people who wake up and use God's energy tickets in a negative way. Start waking up and going and talking to people that use their tickets properly, because birds of a feather flock together. The more people that you are in line with emotionally and mentally, the faster the recovery will be, because you're all working towards that same goal. And then replacing who we were at once upon a time with who we are or want to be, and acting on it immediately, taking that first step, then that second step. Right? I'm going to be at the events. I'm going to be at the webinar. I'm going to go to the meeting at the hotel. I'm going to launch my business again. I'm going to start over on step one. I'm going to teach 2 people in my organization this week how to invite a little bit better. Make the steps, because the immediate gratification that as a society we all expect and want it's not fair. It's not a fair expectation. My job as an enterprise in this company is to manage your expectations. This is a human nature issue, immediate gratification. We've got to recognize that 2 years is going to happen anyway. And you're in such a unique position, we all are, that this company hasn't even gone global yet. And when it does, are we going to be the ones that sit back and say, I remember that company before they went global? Gosh, I should have engaged in that. Right? Is that what we're going to say? Or are we going to say, I am so glad that I recognized the opportunity and I engaged strongly, and I helped people along the way to engage strongly, who helped people along the way to engage strongly. So now that when we go global, we're all getting a 6-figure income and having an incredible time doing it. So the premise of this was, how can we attract talent? We have to get over our pain. It's negative. It's taking away from the positive. Can you understand that? You can't carry both and expect to be effective. We've got to get rid of the pain. Put it behind you. You're not going to get paid for your pain. Become the confident you. Remember a time when you were confident. Close your eyes and remember what that time in your life was like, how things were going. Bring yourself back to that point in time. Becoming the confident you via knowledge, right, by participating, engaging, and then your actions. The more confident you are, the more successful you'll be. The more confident you are, the more successful your team will be, because they're going to look to you for the confidence that they're going to want to emulate. And then that ultimately has more confidence throughout your entire organization, because people want to be successful. They'll see how you carry yourself being confident, and they will emulate you. Recognizing that failure is no longer an option. We are going to bite the head of failure off today. And we are going to use our energy tickets properly. We're going to respect them. We're going to get up and do the things that we can to control our life, to empower us again with even the most trivial of things. Clean out your cabinets in your kitchen. Clean out your garage, right? When you're done sweeping it out and you're looking at it and you're going, wow, it looks great again. Take that sense of pride now into your business and do one thing. Clean your car. Do one thing more for your business. Fuel yourself and your business off the momentum that you're generating in organizing your personal life. Always prospect up. Who is it that we like, that we trust, that we respect? That's who we should be inviting. Right? Because if you're inviting people that we don't respect, that you don't trust, their circle of friends know them, if they even have friends, as somebody that's not trustworthy or that's not respected. So why do you want them in your business? You know, the birds of a feather. It works for us and against us. So by being smart in our business and inviting those that we respect, that may respect us, that like us, that we like, is going to catapult your business. And then teach, train, and mentor your teams. Make that commitment. I'm going to do it once a week. I'm going to teach my team something good, which is exactly why I do MLM boot camp every Monday. My commitment is to show something to my team. Maybe one person or two persons will get some golden nugget out of it. And as we continue the quest for attracting talent, the talent may come from the talent that's already in your team. Your team may deliver the talent that you're looking for by you being a good leader, by you being a deliberate leader. Your job is to cause the environment to be fun, optimistic. Right? Cause the environment to be exciting. That's your job as a leader. Being consistent in what your actions are. Are you doing weekly meetings, weekly planning sessions? Are you launching businesses? Are you doing three-way calls, welcome emails, and welcome phone calls? Are you doing the bare basics of what it is that's needed to show your teams that you're not a renegade doing it your own way, and which is not consistent, it's not working? Is there a system that we can plug into? Yes. Are we all plugging into it? No. Shame on us, because every single new IREP that comes in is going to be exposed to the program through the training, and they're going to look at you as a sponsor and say, why didn't you expose me to this? Prevent embarrassment by being the leader that you should be, that we all want to be, which pays us handsomely, by the way. Because ultimately, people are attracted to quality people. When was the last time you wanted to go hang out and get an autograph from a homeless guy? People are attracted to people, quality people. If you're a quality person and perceived to be a quality person, people will gravitate to you. That's how we attract. We get from the universe what we offer the universe. So if we're not somebody that is attractive outside of aesthetics to the universe, then why would the universe reward us with talent? We've got to be talented. But I want you to take the pressure off yourself. knowing that you're going to be here to prosper. Just make that commitment to yourself. Dr. Sherry Lechner-Lunato, Endeavor 5, her and her team are so funny, and I love it. They do pinky swears that they're not quitting. Frankly, I don't care what you do, just don't quit. But I thought that was incredible to watch that at Regional. Because those people close to you, in your sphere of influence, if you quit, they're going to say, I knew you would. You always have. You always do. 2 years is going to happen anyway. Allow yourself the opportunity to be on that end at 2016, looking back with a six-figure income annually. That not only will impress your family, your friends, your sphere of influence, but will then attract them into your business because they'll see that you stayed the course and your Mercedes is awesome and you get to go on trips as regularly as I do. Rachel and I in Kingston are packing up today, leaving for Hawaii for the month of August. I want you to have that. I want you to want that enough to make the changes amongst ourselves so that we can tell the universe that we're ready to send us the talent. The universe has an abundance of everything we want. You've got to set it out there. But you've got to set it out there with the right intention that you're ready for it. And you'll be rewarded dramatically. And the last point I want to make is, we talk about 2 years, 4 years. This is, for me, has been a reinventing of my life. The last 4 years. I've been with Jasur now 4 years, 1 month, and 3 days. And during the time that I've gone through these last 4 years plus, it's become my college education in network marketing, my multi-level marketing baccalaureate degree. Okay, so I now have a bachelor's degree in my mind because I spent 4 years here. And guess what? I've earned almost $500,000 over the course of those 4 years. What's the point of that? We got to reinvent ourselves. If what we once did is no longer working and what we're doing now is not working well, we've got to do things better. The sooner that we do that and we accept that, we can go back to school and learn a trade or get an education in what will probably be obsolete by the time you graduate, or we can engage in what's being billed as the business of the 21st century and get paid while we're going to school, which is learning our business, right, and growing our business and teaching our teams how to grow their business and learn their business, right, all the while getting paid on-the-job training right here at Jasur in an industry that's exploding. And folks, we're the pioneers in this country. This industry has never been embraced here, but guess what? It's going to be. It's already starting because people can't make ends meet financially. The dual income households had dual expenses. Now they're down to a single income that's managing dual expenses. It's not working. They've got to pick up the pieces, but the bills have not gone away. And they are coming into what's been identified by Warren Buffett as the best investment he's ever made, identified by Robert Kiyosaki as the business of the 21st century, where 92% of all recommendations are coming from friends and family members and not from television advertising, media advertising of any kind. It's all coming from word of mouth. So in a time where 84% of the American population is struggling financially, wouldn't you agree that we have a financial opportunity that's limited in time? Because once we go global, we're global. You can't go global again. So we've got a period of time over the next 2 years to really cast our net big throughout the United States and Canada and work hard together with proven techniques so that when we do go global, how many people in your team may know somebody in Europe, in Asia, in South America, Mexico, Central America? Well, you may not know anybody in those markets yourself, but trust me, you will have teammates that will know people all over the globe, and you will benefit from that. That's where your talent will come from, by you stepping into the position today of saying, enough. I'm going to be better. I'm going to be good. I'm going to take this seriously with deliberate actions that will cause results and help my teammates also achieve that level of success. Okay? So thank you, everybody. I hope you benefited from this, and appreciate your time.